Ah, Ufoma, Ufoma, Ufoma McDermott Road, worry. How many times I call you? 3 times. Many things where you talk for that, your reply or rebuttal to my video on DSTV. Plenty. And I think I need to take my time to respond to some of the things you mentioned, because I was raised by a mother who says that do not take a punch and lie down. It's not good, because once you allow that happen, every other person would kick on you, and that's where the weak suffers a lot. I'm not that. I'll forgive you for calling me stupid or calling my position stupid. I'll forgive you because you're my sister. And I don't want my kids growing up tomorrow and see this video and be wondering what is wrong with these 2 adults. So I'll forgive you for that. But I will not forgive you for saying I am entitled. That what I said is entitlement mentality. First off, I am entitled because I paid subscription. I paid subscription to watch football on DSTV. In this house that I'm recording from, there are 2 DSTV decoder, the Explorer and the Backup. Then there is one GoTV. As a matter of fact, we've bought 4 GoTV decoder in this house. 4, but 1 is active in the children's room. Then up there in my office, there is another 2 DSTV decoder. There is the Explorer and the Backup. So meaning that I pay premium in all of this. Then there is the Showmas that comes with another subscription that's not from this one, because I do media, I do sports, so I need everything, right? So when I make that payment, I am entitled to the premium service advertised. In the 4th quarter of 2023, Supersports advertised the African Cup of Nations as part of their offerings in the new year. So by demanding for it, that's not me being entitled without a cost. That's me being entitled because I paid premium for it. That's one part of it. So as ignorant of the law or ignorant of fact is not an excuse. You are ignorant there, and I agree. But once you say that it's entitlement mentality, you're wrong. So I just needed to answer that. You said my points were baseless. So let me talk to you, because in my first video I was responding to a fan who asked me a question, and I'm highlighting facts, not opinions. Opinions can be argued against, but you can't argue against facts. In my line of job as a football analyst, and I've always been told, until somebody brings superior fact to counter yours, stand on the existing one. And the existing fact says that Supersports did not broadcast the CAF Confederations Cup, the CAF Champions League, African Footballer of the Year Award, the CAF African Super League, and now they are not going to broadcast the African Cup of Nations. First off, I don't know what you think. You were talking about the taste of DSTV audience. It's one of the things you talk about. Let me tell you, when it comes to the taste of DSTV audience, and I'm going to play with numbers that does not align with facts here, but I believe that 50% of the people, and I'm just going to be pairing in 50-50 to be fair to everybody now, 50% of the people who pay for DSTV are men, and let's say 80% of those men pay because of sports. And when I say sports, sports is a very, very ambiguous and a very, very general word. So sports can be anything from football to Papsello. It's sports. How convenient it is that every country that Supersports is broadcasting in, 70% of those countries are participating in the African Cup of Nations. The African Cup of Nations is the African World Cup, or let's put it in this order, is the second biggest national team competition in the world for Africans. So Europeans have the Euros, which Supersports will show us no African player is playing there. The ones that are playing there have taken up European citizenship. They will show us a South American competition, even though we have to wake up in the night to watch it. But all of a sudden, the African Cup of Nations is too expensive for them to show. Wow. And you said I should consider the taste of their audience. What is the taste? You have 270 million subscribers on your bouquet, and you're telling me all of a sudden 270 million people do not like any of the African football offerings. Wow. That's some good education. And then you were quick to continuously say that you are not a spokesperson for MultiChoice, DSTV, or Supersports. Let me tell you. MultiChoice is the reason why your industry is successful. MultiChoice is the reason why many people in your industry are floating about flamboyantly. If you take away African Magic, if you take away AMVCA, if you take away the budget that they put in your industry, you guys will be like those Nollywood people that have moved to Asaba. You will not have anything to offer. Even those people, their content is between YouTube and the same African Magic. So, first off, it is convenient that you came out to defend your paymaster. It is convenient. But you see, me, I don't work for them. And that's a fact. And I don't need their job. But I am saying, as a paying customer for something that they advertise for, I deserve to call them out. Because there is a penalty for false advertising. And that's what DSTV is guilty of. And then you shut off the rail ignorantly by saying I should go to NTA, Delta State, or Eastern States. Listen, none of those states, and even NTA, advertise or sold me a decoder. None of them advertise any program. Delta State's responsibility to me is fixed road, hospital, and the rest, and I call them out on those on a regular basis. But DSTV advertised it, and I paid myself, and a lot of other people paid for it. So for that, they should deliver on their promise. Now, I quite agree, because you pointed out that I'm a businessman, I'm a sports business entrepreneur, so I should understand these things. I do. New World TV had bidded them to $81 million, and they are not there again. But the same way they are able to take signals from Sky Sports, because they don't have the broadcast right directly from IMG or the Premier League, the same way they can buy as a third party. Why not make a deal? StarTime just made a deal with New World TV. Why not make a deal with the New World TV to meet up to the promise that you made to me and others of your customers? And you talked about economic factors. So I am assuming that you were saying the Nigeria economy have affected them. Please, is it the Balablu economy or better Edu's stealing of money in Nigeria that are also making it impossible for DSTV to not show the African Cup of Nations in South Africa, in Angola, in Ghana, and all other African countries? Is it the economic factor here? Because you also need to answer me, because now that you have come to equity with fact, you say you don't need to come with a clean hand. That's a new one. Now that you have come with the other side of the story, you also need to call your paymasters who fund and protect your industry. They make money from sports, but do you know that Supersports does not have any award for sports in Africa or in Nigeria anywhere? But Supersports have award for movie makers in Nigeria and probably in another part of Africa. But for Nigeria, I know Africa, AMVCA is a known thing. It's like the Oscars or the Emmys or the whatever, the BETs of Africa. They don't do that for sports. So when I say they don't like African sports and especially Nigerian sports, I have a reason for saying that. Having said that, if you can tell me how convenient it is that they just all of a sudden fail to show all of the African offerings in sports, but they can give us Cricket World Cup, they can give us Rugby World Cup, they can give us some sports that we're not interested in seeing from India and the rest of them, then maybe I can understand. Agreed that the rights to this content are very expensive. I agree. Pay TV is not cheap. That's the same way why we paid 19,000 plus and the rest to get premium. Calculate the numbers of people that are paying that amount. Calculate the number of people that are subscribed to Showmax. Calculate the number of people that are subscribed to GoTV. Calculate the number of people that are subscribed to all of the different bouquets that is available on DSTV. And tell me why they will take all that money and all of a sudden the African Cup of Nations that will run for 4 or 5 weeks on this continent is not showing on DSTV. And when I call them out, you had the effrontery to say that it's stupid. You had the effrontery to tell me that I'm entitled. For the money that I paid for, I didn't borrow money from you to pay. Yeah, you're my sister, but you see, the same way Judas Iscariot was the disciple of Jesus, but he still betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver. So, because MultiChoice is taking care of your industry, feeding your industry fat, doesn't mean I should not have the right to complain. Ufoma, you're my sister, but I think you've crossed the line. And this is me telling you, as my Hausa brothers would say, King Kedenefa. Kashuko.